Now let's talk some of the fallers. Who do you think did not do well at these pro days?
Yeah, I think you have to start with Army edge rusher Andre Carter, a player that is tremendously long, somebody that has been, propped up by his athletic traits, his capabilities at the position, somebody that, has a thinner frame, so he doesn't necessarily hold up at the point of attack, a little bit more of a liability in run defense. But when you look at the athletic testing that he put up at the NFL Combine and even into his pro day, it was kind of disappointing from what you would expect of a player that is known for his athletic potential. At the NFL Combine, he had a vertical jump of 30 inches, broad jump of 9 feet 1 inches. Those are not the numbers that you would expect from somebody that has this tremendous upside. So that's one player I think is, dropping a little bit. Some of these other guys, it's a little bit more relative. Alabama safety Brian Branch, he didn't test like a first round pick, but I think he has the intelligence of a first round pick, if that makes sense. So while he may get dragged down a little bit by NFL teams because he didn't have this fantastic testing and, stuff that they often look for as far as athletic testing is concerned, I think his play speaks for itself. I think he's a first round caliber talent that's probably not going to get his credit that he deserves because he didn't test in that fashion. A player that's, maybe he ran closer to a 4.6 40-yard dash, but if you're operating 0.2 seconds faster than somebody that's running a 4.4, a 4.5, that's more valuable to me. Somebody that has this great awareness for the game. So even though Branch is probably going to go lower than, than what we initially thought, I still think he's that caliber of a prospect to warrant that type of consideration. Myles Murphy, he didn't compete at the pro day or his combine. He's going to have a private workout on April 4th. So he's got a shot to, kind of get his draft stock moving back in the right direction, because you see players like Lucas Van Ness, Nolan Smith from Georgia kind of rising up the board. And that inherently is going to push a player like Myles Murphy down. So you see him being available in the mid portion of the round of the first round, even into the 20s in some mock drafts now. And I don't think that is warranted either. I think his upside is probably that of a top 10 player in this class. But when you look at what he hasn't done to this point and the fact that his 2021 tape was better than 2022, he's a player that I could see dropping down the board a little bit, relatively speaking. Jalen Carter, he's been talked about quite a bit at this point. I don't want to, rag on him too much because, again, when you have the legal situation that he was dealing with, it makes sense for a young man to put on a little bit of weight and, not be able to finish his workout. So it's a bit of a red flag. It's concerning, but you don't want to pile on him because at the end of the day, this is still a young guy that, is dealing with a lot. The public scrutiny that he was under, it's understandable what he was going through over the past couple of weeks. So I'm trying not to pile on him too much, but that's going to be a red flag for NFL teams. And then DeJuan Jones, the offensive tackle from Ohio State, again, did not compete at the combine or his pro day. I had heard he didn't weigh in at Ohio State. I don't know if he actually did or not, but there was some talk that he didn't want to. So that's a little bit of a red flag because how much had his weight kind of, fluctuated since his combine weigh-in where he was 374 pounds. Somebody that is that size, like a Mekhi Becton, that was taken number 11 overall, he ran a 5.1 40-yard dash. DeJuan Jones is, a 5.35. So those are not the same caliber of athletes. So, relatively speaking, he's not going to go in the same range as a Mekhi Becton, and he's probably going to be late day one, probably even into day two.
Interesting. It's a good list.
Yeah, Dom in the chat said the same thing. Said he's sunk like a stone, possibly out of the first round for Jones. Any fallers for you, Brinson?
No, I'm just going to steal Josh's and use him on my mock draft, basically.
I can't wait for this mock draft to come out tomorrow. Can you give us any spoilers?
Yeah, Lamar Jackson's getting traded.
Oh, well,
that's right. No. That's
we know who your top 3 is for Lamar Jackson. Well, you told us.
Oh, top 3 teams. Yeah. I don't know which one he's going to go to yet. I think the one thing too, I'm like, I haven't really decided who I'm going to have Carolina taking at 1. It's sort of annoying. I understand that they're like, we're comfortable with 7 of the quarterbacks in this draft class. Like, shut up. You're not comfortable with 7 of the quarterbacks in this draft class. Like, don't be ridiculous. Now, like, maybe you're comfortable with 2, So I just don't believe that. Like I can believe that they're like, all right, if we have to right now, like if it's like the draft starts right now, we have 15 minutes. Like we'll take Bryce Young. We'll be fine with that. And then they're like, but we want to see if we like Will Levis enough to take him at 1. Like I understand that kind of concept. But the idea like we're comfortable with 3 guys. It's like if you're comfortable with 3 guys, you should have traded to number 3 because it would have been cheaper, and you would still have like DJ Moore, or you'd still have an extra second round pick. That doesn't make any sense. If you're comfortable with 3 guys, trade to 3. If you're not comfortable with 3 guys and if you have 1 guy you want, I think David Tepper likes the attention, likes having the fact that people are talking about this franchise. Who do you have them taken in your most recent one, Josh?
Most recently, I had them taking CJ Stroud. They have taken all of these quarterbacks out to dinner. They've gotten to know them personally. So I'm sure they have a conviction at this point who they're probably leaning towards, but understandably keeping it close to the vest. I do know that they liked Levis.
Yep.
At one point in the process, was that we like you at number 9? Do we still like you at number 1 overall? I have no idea. But I have made a point this entire time that it's, it would be totally naive to close off the idea that maybe it's not just CJ Stroud or Bryce Young at this point, because the year that Baker Mayfield was taken number 1 overall, 48 hours, 72 hours before that selection, everybody thought it was going to be Sam Darnold or Josh Allen in that draft class. So what we think we know outwardly, we don't necessarily know. And we know even less when you look back 5 years down the road and see how these quarterbacks have played out. So
that's with the Baker thing too. Like, I mean, I just think I remember, good on me for making money betting Baker to go 1 overall. Like, I mean, he was like 20 to 1 and like on the morning of the draft. And it was like, and then all of a sudden you see the Schefter tweet. It's like, just like Darnold and Josh Allen were like basically, even money or whatever. And it's like Baker, it's like, you can read the tweet where it's like, okay, he knows that it's Baker and it's going to be Baker. And it's like, welp, get out your hammers because we are smashing Baker to go first overall at 9 to 1 to 20 to 1, whatever you can find. And like, I think that the other thing too is that the NFL, the NFL is in constant, like the owners' meetings are happening right now, right? All the owners, all the coaches, all the GMs are in Arizona. Roger Goodell's there. He'll do a State of the Union later today where he won't say anything. Might be happening right now for Orlando. But the point being is they're all talking, right? The NFL tells the team with the number 1 overall pick, like, whatever you do, don't let anybody know who you're taking, especially if there's multiple quarterbacks, because they want drama, they want the attention, they want the buzz leading up to it, and then they want the reveal to be like it's all because no one knows. So they're like, by all means, act like you like 5 guys. Like the NFL embraces that. Yeah. So I think the Panthers will continue to embrace it as well.
Yeah, there will not be a second left on the clock either when they do come, on the board at number 1 overall. They will take all of their time just like we do every year, and I get frustrated about annually.
Yep.
The entertainment value is through the roof, and that's why it's so fun to bet on the draft too, because it's one thing that you definitely can't predict.
We print
before gambling, I would watch the draft for what the 49ers were doing, but now I'm heavily invested almost every single day trying to figure out when these people are going to come off the board. All right, that is going to wrap up our show today. Thank you so much for joining us. And make sure you join us again tomorrow, 1 p.m. for more NFL offseason coverage. And of course, remember to like, comment, subscribe on the YouTube page. For everyone listening, audio only, do the same, download, follow, leave a 5-star review, and tell your friends to listen and watch the pod. We'll see you tomorrow.